What happened inside that congressional hearing was supposed to be a routine questioning, but nobody was prepared for the document. Representative Ted Lieu brought with him a single piece of paper that made FBI Director Kash Patel freeze completely. Patel sat confidently in front of the microphone just moments before. He had survived intense questionings 100 times already, but he clearly didn't expect the trap that was just set for him. Lieu didn't raise his voice or start a shouting match. He simply placed a manila folder on his desk and opened it, and what was inside that folder? It was a bank record that was supposed to be permanently deleted. A highly classified financial transfer of exactly $847,000. Why would someone risk their career to erase one specific transaction? The air in the room immediately grew heavy. You could hear the press cameras clicking rapidly in the background, because this wasn't just any missing money. Let's rewind for a second to understand the massive stakes. The hearing was heavily focused on the infamous Epstein files. The American public has been demanding full transparency on these files for years. Patel claimed earlier that the FBI was hiding absolutely nothing. He stated on the record that all relevant documents were already public, but Lieu possessed hard evidence that proved the exact opposite. Director Patel, are you familiar with this specific offshore account? Lieu asked calmly. Patel leaned forward, his confident demeanor suddenly cracking. He squinted at the screen where the document was being displayed. I have not seen that specific document, Congressman, Patel replied slowly. But that was the first major mistake of the hearing. How could the director of the FBI not know about a flagged $847K transfer? Lieu didn't back down. He immediately pulled out a second piece of paper. You haven't seen it, because someone in your office ordered it deleted, Lieu stated. The entire chamber went dead silent. Did a sitting congressman just accuse the FBI of destroying Epstein-related evidence? The implications of that single sentence were earth-shattering. Patel's microphone picked up a sharp intake of breath. He looked back at his legal counsel sitting right behind him. What were they whispering about in such a panic? Congressman, we process millions of files daily, Patel attempted to deflect. Files get archived or moved due to standard protocol. But Lieu was fully prepared for that exact excuse. This wasn't archived, Director. Lieu shot back instantly. He held up a printed email thread for everyone to see. This was a direct order to scrub the $847,000 transfer from the primary database. Who sent that email? And more importantly, whose name was attached to that massive sum of money? The tension in the room reached an absolute boiling point. Lieu read the timestamp on the email out loud. It was sent just 48 hours before Patel's confirmation hearing. Was the timing just a bizarre coincidence? Are you telling me under oath that you know nothing about this? Lieu pressed. Patel stared at the document, refusing to answer for a long 10 seconds. Those 10 seconds of silence spoke volumes to everyone watching, but then something entirely unexpected happened. Just when it seemed Patel was completely cornered, he leaned into the microphone. He decided to fight back using a dangerous technicality. Congressman, that record falls under ongoing operational security, Patel stated sharply. He was invoking a classified status to shut down the questioning. Would this classic Washington maneuver actually work? Lieu smiled, a cold, calculated expression that shocked the room. He had anticipated this exact defense mechanism. You cannot classify a document to hide a crime, Director, Lieu reminded him. The legal showdown had just escalated into a constitutional crisis. If the FBI classified Epstein payouts, they were actively protecting the network. The media gallery erupted in hushed, frantic whispers. But how did a congressman get a document the FBI desperately tried to erase? That is where this story takes an even darker, more mysterious turn. Someone inside the agency risked everything to print that file. A whistleblower, deep inside the cyber division, noticed the anomaly. They saw a command execute that wiped the $847K record from the primary server. But the person who ordered the deletion made one critical, arrogant mistake. They forgot to scrub the secondary backup server in the basement, and that is where the whistleblower found the ghost file. They printed it, put it in a secure envelope, and sent it to Capitol Hill. Lieu pulled a third document from his seemingly endless folder. Let's look at where this money actually went, he continued relentlessly. It was wired to an LLC registered in the British Virgin Islands. Who owned that LLC? Why was the FBI so desperate to protect its identity? The questions were piling up faster than Patel could deflect them. This LLC shares a registered agent with 3 properties owned by Jeffrey Epstein, Lieu revealed. The connection was no longer a conspiracy theory. It was printed in black and white, entered into the congressional record. Patel's face lost all its color. The aggressive director was now playing entirely on the defense. I cannot verify the authenticity of those papers right now, he stammered. You don't have to verify them, Lieu fired back immediately. Your own cybersecurity division already did when they tried to wipe the server. It was a masterclass in political trapping. Every time Patel tried to find an exit, Lieu slammed a new door shut. The status conflict was incredible to witness. A relentless congressman tearing down the shield of a powerful intelligence chief. Why was this specific transaction so incredibly dangerous to the established order? Financial records are the one thing that cannot be easily spun by PR teams. Numbers do not have political affiliations, and they certainly don't lie under oath. Patel's eyes darted across the committee room. He was visibly calculating his next move, realizing the absolute severity of the trap. If there was a deletion, it was an unauthorized breach by a rogue agent, Patel suggested. A rogue agent? Was the FBI director really claiming a random employee deleted an Epstein financial file? The excuse sounded incredibly fragile the absolute moment it left his mouth. Lieu didn't even need to argue with that absurd defense. He just let the ridiculousness of the statement hang in the heavy air. The high-definition cameras captured every bead of sweat on the official's forehead. This wasn't just a tough line of questioning anymore. It was a systematic, brutal dismantling of an official government narrative. Piece by piece, document by document, the massive wall of secrecy was cracking. "We will be submitting this entire email chain to the Inspector General," Lieu announced. "Once it's in the official IG record, it triggers an automatic federal probe. There is absolutely no deleting it twice. What happens next could change the entire trajectory of the Epstein investigation. If one single bank record was hidden, how many others suffered the exact same fate? Are there dozens of these phantom transactions floating in the dark web of federal servers? The American people are completely tired of heavily redacted summaries. They want the raw data, the hidden emails, the strictly secret files. And today they got a massive unfiltered glimpse behind the curtain. But the hearing wasn't over yet. Lieu had one final question that completely stopped the room. It was the question nobody else dared to ask on live television. "Director Patel, who ordered you to ignore this specific LLC?" Lieu asked, his voice dropping an octave. The accusation was incredibly direct and brutally clear. He wasn't accusing Patel of doing it. He was accusing Patel of following orders. Who is the puppet master? Who is so powerful that the head of the FBI would risk perjury to protect them? Patel looked directly at Lieu, his jaw clenched incredibly tight. "I take my orders from the law, Congressman." Patel deflected one last time, but the empty rhetoric fell completely flat in the silent chamber. The $847,000 ghost transaction haunted the rest of the entire proceedings. Every subsequent answer Patel gave was viewed through the lens of that deleted file. Trust is an incredibly fragile thing in the halls of Washington. Once you are caught hiding the math, absolutely nobody believes your words. This is exactly why these congressional hearings still matter, because every once in a while, a politician actually brings the absolute receipts, and the powerful elites are forced to look at the exact things they tried to destroy. The truth about the $847K might take several months to fully unravel. Federal subpoenas will be issued, and digital vaults will be forcibly pried open, but the initial devastating crack in the dam has already been made. Who authorized that massive transfer? Who ordered the digital scrub from the 7th floor? These are the questions that will keep investigative journalists awake at night. The Epstein files are clearly not just a simple list of names anymore. They are a highly complex, deeply entrenched web of financial leverage and political blackmail. And Ted Lieu just grabbed a massive thread and pulled as hard as he could. The entire hidden network is starting to shake violently, because the money trail always inevitably leads to the ultimate truth. Nobody expected a banking error code to be the star witness today. But in the dark world of high-level political cover-ups, the boring documents are the deadliest. They are the silent witnesses that cannot be intimidated, bribed, or silenced. As the hearing finally concluded, Patel quickly gathered his scattered folders. He didn't stop to chat with the press or shake hands with his colleagues. He walked out of that hearing room a very different man than the one who walked in. He walked in with the full, intimidating armor of federal authority. He walked out carrying the incredibly heavy weight of an exposed, dangerous secret, all because of one printed email and a deleted 6-figure number. The political fallout from this single tense confrontation will be utterly massive. Will other terrified whistleblowers step forward now that the door is kicked open? Will the deleted, highly classified database be fully recovered and finally exposed? We are watching a high-stakes, incredibly dangerous game of political chess, and today checkmate was delivered via a simple financial spreadsheet. The game is far from over, but the board has been permanently, irrevocably changed. Keep your eyes locked on this specific, unfolding investigation. The $847,000 is just the tip of a very dark, very deep, and very dangerous iceberg, and the truth is finally, inevitably, starting to thaw.